The Miami sun blazed over Ocean Drive, casting a golden glow on the crowded sidewalks where tourists and locals mingled in a vibrant pulse of life. Mia, 28, moved through her dance studio with a rhythm that turned heads. Her classes were a magnet for dreamers, kids, teens, even adults who wanted to feel alive through movement. She didn't just teach dance, she ignited it, her steps sharp, her energy contagious. Students left her sessions sweating, smiling, and a little more confident than when they walked in. But beneath her radiant exterior, Mia carried a restless hunger. Dance was her world, but it wasn't enough. She dreamed of something bigger, a dance app that could connect instructors and students globally, a platform to turn her passion into a legacy. At home, Mia's life felt like a different tempo. Her husband, Tom, 30, was an accountant with a steady job at a mid-sized firm. He was the kind of man who found joy in routine. A morning coffee, a predictable workday, and evenings spent binge-watching crime dramas on the couch. Tom's stability was what drew Mia to him 5 years ago. After a whirlwind romance, they married in a small ceremony at a beachside venue, surrounded by friends and family under a pastel sunset. Back then, his calm presence grounded her. Now it felt like an anchor. Mia paced their modest apartment, her phone buzzing with notifications from students thanking her for another killer class. She opened her laptop, staring at the half-finished pitch deck for her app. It was her ticket out of the grind. Online classes, choreography tutorials, a community for dancers worldwide. She'd spent months sketching ideas, researching platforms, even pricing developers. But the numbers didn't add up. She needed investors, and Tom wasn't on board. "Tom, hear me out," Mia said one evening, sliding her laptop toward him as he ate leftovers at the kitchen table. "This app could be huge. Think YouTube, but for dance. I just need a little seed money to get it off the ground." Tom chewed slowly, his brow furrowing. "Mia, it sounds amazing, but it's a risk. We're finally saving for a house. Can't you start smaller? Maybe more classes at the studio?" "Mia esse jotaitend. More classes won't change the game. I want to build something, Tom. Something that matters." He reached for her hand, his voice gentle but firm. "I get it, but let's be smart. No debt, no crazy leaps. We'll get there." His words stung. To Mia, "we'll get there" sounded like settle for this. She pulled her hand back, forcing a smile. "Sure, maybe you're right." But inside, her ambition churned, restless and unsatisfied. The turning point came at a charity gala in downtown Miami, a glitzy event for arts education hosted at a waterfront hotel. Mia volunteered to perform a solo, her fluid movements drawing gasps from the crowd. As applause echoed, she scanned the room and locked eyes with Ethan, a tall figure in a sharp blazer, standing beside her cousin Lily. Ethan, 32, was a tech entrepreneur whose startup had just secured a $1 million funding round. Lily, 29, glowed with the confidence of someone born into opportunity. Her parents owned a chain of boutique hotels, and her life seemed effortlessly charmed. Mia had met Ethan before, but tonight felt different. He approached after her performance, a glass of sparkling water in hand. "That was unreal, Mia," he said, his voice carrying a quiet intensity. "You got something special. Ever thought about scaling it?" Her pulse quickened. "All the time. I'm working on an app, dance classes, global reach. But it's hard to get started without the right backing." Ethan's eyes lit up. "I know a thing or two about startups. We should talk." Lily joined them, looping her arm through Ethan's. "Mia, you killed it out there," she said, her smile warm but distracted as she glanced at her phone. "Ethan, we've got that investor meeting tomorrow, right?" "Yeah, early," Ethan replied, his gaze lingering on Mia for a beat too long. She felt it, a terrestrial, a spark, a pull, a promise of something more. Over the next week, Mia couldn't shake Ethan's words. Scaling it. He saw her potential, her vision, in a way Tom never did. She found his number through Lily and sent a casual text. "Great meeting you at the gala. Loved your take on startups. Coffee sometime to chat app ideas?" His reply came fast. "Tomorrow, 3 p.m., Oceanfront Cafe?" Mia's heart raced as she typed yes. At home, Tom was engrossed in a spreadsheet, oblivious to the shift in her. "Work stuff?" he asked, barely looking up. "Just planning a new class," Mia lied, her voice steady but her mind elsewhere. She wasn't sure what she was chasing with Ethan, but it felt like a door opening, one she'd been waiting to step through her whole life. Mia sat at the oceanfront cafe, the hum of Miami's lunchtime crowd blending with the crash of waves nearby. Her phone buzzed. Ethan was running 5 minutes late. She tapped her foot, nerves and excitement twisting together. This wasn't just about her app anymore. It was about the possibility of someone who saw her potential, who matched her hunger for more. When Ethan arrived, his confident stride cut through the bustle. He slid into the seat across from her, his smile disarming. "Sorry, investor call ran long," he said, ordering an espresso. "So, tell me about this app." Mia leaned forward, her pitch polished from weeks of practice. "It's a platform for dancers, live classes, choreography libraries, a community hub. Imagine TikTok meets Masterclass, but for dance. I've got the vision, but funding's the bottleneck." Ethan listened intently, jotting notes on his phone. "Smart. The market's ripe for niche platforms. What's your budget to launch?" "50 grand for a prototype," Mia said, heart pounding. "I've saved 10, but Tom thinks it's too risky to borrow more." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Tom's your husband, right? He doesn't get it?" Mia hesitated, then shook her head. "He's cautious. Want to play it safe." Ethan leaned back, his gaze steady. "Safe doesn't build empires. You need someone who'll take the leap with you." His words hung in the air, charged with subtext. Mia felt a flush of adrenaline. This was the kind of energy she craved, bold, unapologetic, forward-moving. Their coffee stretched into 2 hours, the conversation drifting from business to personal dreams. Ethan shared stories of his startup's early days, the risks that paid off. Mia hung on every word, her laughter coming easier than it had in months. When their hands brushed reaching for the check, neither pulled away. "Let's do this again," Ethan said, his voice low. "I've got some investor contacts who'd love your pitch." Mia nodded, her pulse racing. "I'd like that." Back home, Tom was on the couch, scrolling through his phone. "Good class today?" he asked, glancing up. "Yeah," Mia lied, avoiding his eyes. "Just planning some new choreography." She slipped into the bathroom, her phone already open to Ethan's text. "Great meeting you. Let's talk numbers tomorrow." Her fingers hovered over the keyboard before typing. "Can't wait." Over the next 2 weeks, Mia and Ethan's texts grew frequent, then constant. What started as app talk, user interfaces, monetization, turned flirty. "You're too driven to be stuck in a studio," Ethan wrote one night. "You should be running the show." Mia's heart skipped. Tom was asleep beside her, oblivious, as she replied, "Maybe I just need the right partner." Ethan's response was a winking emoji, and Mia's guilt was drowned out by a thrill she couldn't ignore. Lily's networking event at her family's beachfront condo offered the perfect excuse to see Ethan again. The crowd buzzed with Miami's elite, entrepreneurs, influencers, investors. Mia arrived alone, telling Tom she was scouting for app sponsors. She spotted Ethan across the room, deep in conversation with a venture capitalist. When their eyes met, he excused himself and made his way over. "You're killing it out there," he said, nodding toward her confident mingling. "This app's going to be big. Only if I can fund it," Mia said, half joking. "Know any takers?" Ethan grinned. "I might. Walk with me." He led her to the balcony, the ocean breeze cool against the humid night. Their talk turned personal again, dreams, fears, the rush of chasing something big. Ethan's hand grazed her arm, lingering. "You're not like anyone here, Mia. You got fire." Her breath caught. "And you've got vision. Tom doesn't see it like you do." "Then maybe you need someone who does," Ethan said, stepping closer. Before she could think, his lips were on hers, a brief, electric kiss that sent her heart racing. She pulled back, glancing around, but no one had noticed. "We shouldn't," she whispered, but her voice lacked conviction. "We'll be careful," Ethan said, his eyes locked on hers. "No one has to know." Mia's mind screamed to stop, but her body leaned into the moment. That night, she went home to Tom, who greeted her with a tired smile and a question about her day. She mumbled something vague, her thoughts consumed by Ethan's kiss and the promise of his support. The next morning, Ethan texted a proposal. "I'll fund your prototype. 50K, no strings. Let's meet to discuss." Mia stared at the message, her ambition and desire tangling into something dangerous. She replied, "Name the place." Their next meeting wasn't at a cafe. Ethan sent an address, a discreet hotel bar on the edge of Miami. Mia told Tom she was meeting a potential investor. At the bar, Ethan slid a check across the table. "This is for you," he said. "For the app. For your future." His hand covered hers, and the air crackled with unspoken intent. Mia knew she was crossing a line, but the pull of Ethan's confidence, his belief in her, was too strong. She didn't pull away. Mia's phone buzzed on a nightstand, the screen lighting up with Ethan's name. She glanced at Tom, asleep beside her, his steady breathing a stark contrast to the chaos in her chest. It was 1 a.m., 2 weeks since their kiss on the balcony, and her secret meetings with Ethan had become a dangerous routine. Each encounter, discreet bars, late-night drives, pushed her further from the life she'd built with Tom. Ethan's $50,000 check was already deposited, her app's prototype in development, but the thrill of his attention outshone any progress. She slipped out of bed, silencing her phone, and read his message. "Need to see you. Tomorrow. Same place, 8 p.m. Her reply was instant. "I'll be there." The next evening, Mia told Tom she was meeting a developer to review app designs. He nodded, engrossed in a work email, unaware of the lie. At the hotel bar, Ethan waited in a quiet corner, his usual confidence tinged with unease. "Things are moving fast with the startup," he said, sipping a drink. "I might need to scale back on extracurriculars." His words were vague, but Mia felt the shift. He was pulling away. Panic surged. Ethan wasn't just her investor. He was her escape from a life that felt too small. "What does that mean for us?" she asked, her voice low but sharp. He hesitated, glancing away. "Mia, you're incredible," but Lily started to ask questions. "We need to cool it." Her stomach dropped. Without thinking, desperation took over. "Ethan, I'm pregnant," she blurted, the lies spilling out before she could stop it. She'd read online about how such a claim could shift dynamics, and in that moment, it felt like her only way to hold on to him. Ethan froze, his glass halfway to his lips. "Pregnant? Are you sure?" Mia nodded, doubling down. "I took a test yesterday. It's yours." Her heart pounded, but she kept her face steady, leaning into the deception. He exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. "Okay, we need to confirm this. I'll book a doctor's appointment tomorrow. You and me will figure it out." His tone was practical, not warm, but Mia clung to the fact that he was still engaged, still tethered to her. Back home, Tom was watching a game, oblivious. "Good meeting?" he asked, his voice casual. "Yeah, progress," Mia mumbled, slipping into the bathroom to splash water on her face. Her reflection stared back, a stranger caught in a web of her own making. She told herself the lie was temporary, just enough to keep Ethan close until her app launched. But doubt gnawed at her. What if he demanded proof too soon? Meanwhile, Lily's suspicions grew. Ethan's late nights and distracted demeanor weren't new, but his guarded phone use set off alarms. One evening, while he showered, she grabbed his laptop, left open on their condo's kitchen counter. Her fingers trembled as she opened his messaging app, revealing a thread with Mia. The flirty texts, meeting plans, and a bank transfer receipt for $50,000, labeled app investment, hit like a punch. The final blow was Mia's message about the pregnancy. Lily's hands shook with rage, but she didn't cry. Instead, she screenshotted everything and closed the laptop, her mind racing with a plan. The next morning, Lily called Tom. "We need to talk," she said, her voice steady but urgent. "It's about Mia. Meet me at the diner on Collins Avenue noon." Tom, confused but sensing her tone, agreed. At the diner, Lily didn't waste time. She slid her phone across the table, the screenshots glowing on the screen. Tom scrolled in silence, his face paling with each message. Mia's flirtations, the secret meetings, the pregnancy claim, it was all there, undeniable. The bank transfer tied it together, a betrayal not just of their marriage, but of trust itself. "I'm so sorry, Tom," Lily said, her voice soft but firm. "You deserve to know." Tom's jaw clenched, but he stayed composed. "Thank you," he said, standing. "I need to handle this." He left without another word, his mind reeling, but his resolve hardening. That same day, Ethan texted Mia. "Clinic booked, 3 p.m. tomorrow. We're getting answers." Mia är stomach chirrande. She'd hoped to delay, to string him along until she could pivot, but time was up. She spent the night crafting excuses, nausea, a scheduling conflict, but none felt convincing. Her lie was a ticking bomb, and the countdown was nearly over. When Tom got home, Mia was in the kitchen, pretending to prep a class schedule. His silence was deafening. He didn't look at her, just grabbed a duffel bag and started packing. "Tom, what's wrong?" she asked, her voice shaky. He paused, his back to her. "Lily showed me everything. The messages, the money, the pregnancy." His voice was cold, final. "It's over, Mia. I'm done." She reached for him, words tumbling out. "Tom, wait, I can explain." "There's nothing to explain," he cut in, zipping the bag. "I feel sorry for you." He walked out, the door slamming behind him. Mia stood frozen, the weight of her choices crashing down. Mia sat alone in her Miami apartment, the silence heavier than ever. Tom's absence was a void, his side of the bed empty, his coffee mug untouched. It had been 3 days since he'd walked out, leaving only a note with his lawyer's contact info. Divorce papers were coming, and Mia knew there was no going back. Her phone, once alive with Ethan's texts, was now quiet. She checked it obsessively, hoping for a message, a lifeline, but the screen stayed blank. The $50,000 Ethan had given her for the dance app was frozen. Lily had filed a lawsuit, claiming fraud and misappropriation. Without those funds, Mia's prototype stalled, developers unpaid, her dream unraveling. She tried calling Ethan, but his responses were curt. "We'll talk at the clinic. Be there." The appointment loomed like a guillotine. Mia had no plan, no way to sustain the pregnancy lie. She'd bought a drugstore test to fake a result, but Ethan's insistence on a doctor's visit crushed that idea. Her desperation had painted her into a corner, and every step forward felt like sinking deeper. At the clinic, Ethan waited in the parking lot, his expression unreadable. Mia's hand shook as she stepped out of her car. "Let's get this over with," he said, leading her inside. The waiting room was sterile, the hum of a TV barely masking her racing pulse. When a nurse called her name, Mia's legs felt like lead. Ethan followed, his presence a mix of obligation and suspicion. The doctor, a no-nonsense woman with a clipboard, asked routine questions. Mia mumbled answers, her voice unsteady. During the exam, she avoided Ethan's gaze, focusing on the ceiling tiles. The truth was inevitable. After a quick ultrasound, the doctor turned to her, voice calm but direct. "There's no pregnancy, Ms. Carter. No signs of one at all." Mia's breath caught, her face burning. She opened her mouth to protest, but no words came. Ethan's eyes narrowed, his silence more damning than any outburst. The doctor excused herself, leaving them alone. "You lied," Ethan said, his voice low and cold. "You used me. For what? Money? Attention?" "It wasn't like that," Mia stammered, but the excuse sounded hollow even to her. I needed you to stay." "Stay." Ethan stood, his chair scraping the floor. "You've got nothing now. Not me. Not the money. Not your app." He walked out, the door clicking shut behind him. Mia sat frozen, the weight of her collapse pressing down. Back home, the fallout spread like wildfire. Lily had shared the story with their social circle, and whispers turned to outright rejection. Dance studio clients canceled classes, citing personal reasons. Colleagues distanced themselves, unwilling to be tied to her tarnished name. Mia's social media, once filled with glowing reviews, now had comments calling her a fraud. She deleted her accounts, but screenshots circulated, her reputation in tatters. Bills piled up, rent, utilities, the app's unpaid developers demanding refunds. Mia sold her laptop, her dance equipment, anything to stay afloat. She texted Tom, begging to talk, but his reply was a single line, "Speak to my lawyer." Ethan ignored her calls entirely. Lily's lawsuit moved forward, and a court notice arrived, demanding repayment of the $50,000 plus legal fees. Mia had nothing left to fight with. One night, scrolling through her phone, Mia stumbled on Lily's post. A photo of her and Ethan, hands intertwined, with a caption about their engagement party. "Stronger than ever," it read. Mia's chest tightened. The life she'd envied, the one she'd chased through lies, was thriving without her. She'd gambled everything, her marriage, her career, her integrity, and lost. Desperate, Mia reached out to old contacts, pitching her app to anyone who'd listen. But the story of her deception had spread through Miami's tight-knit creative scene. Investors ghosted her, studios turned her away. One former mentor, a choreographer she'd admired, responded bluntly, "You burned every bridge, Mia. Trust is hard to rebuild." She took a part-time job at a community center teaching basic dance to kids. The pay was barely enough to cover groceries, but the work kept her moving. The kids' enthusiasm was a faint echo of the passion she'd once felt, but it wasn't enough to fill the void. Every night, she lay awake, replaying her choices. Each text to Ethan, each lie to Tom, each moment she'd chosen ambition over honesty. Tom, meanwhile, was rebuilding. He'd moved into a small condo, focusing on his career. He started a side hustle, offering financial consulting to freelancers, something Mia had once called boring. His quiet determination proved her wrong. His client list grew steadily, his confidence a stark contrast to her chaos. Lily and Ethan planned their wedding, their bond unshaken by the scandal. Mia was a footnote in their story, a cautionary tale that Mia's life had become a series of small, deliberate steps. 6 months after the clinic visit that exposed her lie, she sat in a Miami community center, surrounded by kids practicing clumsy dance moves. Their laughter filled the air, a sharp contrast to the silence of her apartment. The job paid little, but it was steady, a lifeline after losing her studio, her marriage, and her dream app. The $50,000 lawsuit from Lily hung over her, with payments eating into her meager savings. Yet, in this stripped-down existence, Mia was searching for something she hadn't felt in years: purpose. She'd started therapy, a condition of her court-ordered repayment plan. At first, she resisted, deflecting questions about her choices. But week by week, the sessions chipped away at her defenses. "Why did you lie?" her therapist asked one rainy afternoon. Mia stared at the floor, her answer slow but honest. "I thought it would get me what I wanted: success, freedom, someone who saw me. I was wrong." Admitting it felt like shedding a weight, but the shame lingered. She'd hurt Tom, betrayed Lily, used Ethan. The truth was hers to own. Mia channeled her energy into the kids at the community center. They were from underserved neighborhoods, many with dreams bigger than their circumstances. She taught them hip-hop, salsa, whatever sparked their interest, staying late to help them perfect a step or choreograph a routine. One girl, Sophia, reminded Mia of herself at 15. Restless, talented, hungry for more. "You think I could be a dancer for real?" Sophia asked after class, eyes wide. "You could be anything," Mia said, meaning it. "Just don't cut corners. Trust me." The words stung, a reminder of her own shortcuts. She started a free after-school program, scraping together donations for music and space. It wasn't glamorous, but it felt right, like a small atonement for the chaos she'd caused. Tom, meanwhile, was thriving. His financial consulting side hustle had grown into a full-fledged business. He leased an office in downtown Miami, his client list now including artists and small businesses. He'd always been steady, but now he was confident, proving to himself, and indirectly to Mia, that his quiet strength could build something lasting. He didn't speak of her, didn't check her social media. To him, she was the past, a lesson learned. Lily and Ethan had married in a small ceremony, their bond stronger for surviving the betrayal. Lily posted a photo online, her hand resting on a subtle baby bump, with a caption, "Our next adventure begins." Mia saw it late one night, her thumb hovering over the screen. The sight didn't spark envy anymore, only a quiet ache. She'd wanted their life, but now she understood. No lie could build what they had. The dance community hadn't forgotten Mia's scandal. Whispers followed her, but she kept showing up, teaching, rebuilding trust one class at a time. She posted a video online, a raw apology to her students, colleagues, and Tom. "I made choices I'm not proud of," she said, voice steady. "I hurt people who matter to me. I'm working to be better every day." The comments were mixed, some supportive, others harsh, but the act of owning her mistakes freed something in her. One evening, Sophia's mother approached Mia after class. "You've changed my daughter," she said. "She believes in herself now." "Thank you." Mia nodded, swallowing a lump in her throat. It wasn't redemption, not yet, but it was a start. She began mentoring other instructors, sharing her skills for free, hoping to rebuild her name through actions, not promises. The lawsuit dragged on, but Mia made payments diligently, even if it meant skipping meals. She sold her car, moved to a smaller apartment, and kept teaching. The app dream was dead, but she sketched new ideas, smaller, realistic ones, like a local dance workshop series. She pitched it to the community center director, who agreed to pilot it. For the first time in months, Mia felt a spark of hope, not for fame but for something honest. Online, her story became a cautionary tale. Bloggers dissected it, some calling her a villain, others a flawed dreamer. A local news outlet picked it up, framing it as a lesson in accountability. Mia didn't read the articles. She focused on her kids, her classes, her slow climb back. One night, she got a message from an old student. Saw your apology. Takes guts. Keep going. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was enough. Tom's business landed a feature in a Miami entrepreneurship magazine. The article mentioned his resilience, his ability to rebuild after personal loss. Mia read it at the community center, a faint smile on her lips. He found his path, just as she was searching for hers. Lily and Ethan welcomed their baby, a girl, and their joy radiated through their posts. Mia didn't resent it. She wished them well, silently, from a distance. As Mia locked up the community center one night, Sophia ran up, grinning. We're performing at the city festival. You're coming, right? Mia nodded, her heart lighter than it had been in months. She wasn't the woman who'd lied to chase a dream. She was someone new, building something real, one step at a time.